News events. Let's talk a little bit about how we all trade news, especially the news that we're seeing now with the Fed, FOMC, jobs. Do this at any time there's a news event. So you see here on the top left of the chart, there's a news indicator. We also have a DayTradeToWin calendar, which gives you the same information. So if you come here to DayTradeToWin, if you're looking for it, come here to economic news calendar right there, and you'll have an economic news calendar as well. So you have, it's the same calendar that is provided everywhere. So the information is the same whether you're using the news indicator, which we include with most of our software as a bonus, or using the news calendar at DayTradeToWin. And so what we're looking for is these red manufacturing, red letters, red jobless, and so on. Now, this stuff is all delayed. I believe it's because of the government shutdown. So we may have to wait until an actual news event is released. Consumer confidence, FOMC, and things like that. And when we have a news event, there's always a certain characteristic that occurs and we can expect. So what can happen during a news event? Well, we could see the market have a big move up or a big move down. We can see the market not do anything, right? Not react to the news. It could be, the news could be as expected. It could be a complete opposite of what everybody expected. So typically when you have a news event, there's a lot of things that could happen, but the one thing that always stays the same is that people react or try to react or think about what to do when a news event happens. So I'm going to show you how I trade the news, and this may help you when you take a look at the following news event, whenever that may be, on any market that you look at, how to handle it. So most traders, when they think of a news event, they think of bracketing off like this. So if the market's kind of trading like this and like this and like this, they say, well, if the market goes straight up, I'm going to be a buyer and a stop. Or if the market goes straight down, I'm going to be a buyer. I'm going to be a seller and a stop. So you're bracketing off, and this is how most traders think. And I believe that this can cause problems. It's not the right way to handle a news event type of situation. Maybe in other situations it may be, but not during a news event. And I'll tell you why. Sometimes the market goes up, fills you, and then goes straight down. So you're stuck, right? And I'm sure some of you have seen how news events occur. They just go ballistic, right? The market just goes crazy. The volatility is off the charts, and that's a problem, especially if you're using a stop order, which is an order that converts into a market, right? A stop order converts into a market order. So that is a problem that could happen. The other thing that could happen is if the news event is positive and you think because the news is positive that it's going to fill you long and continue, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes, many times, it reverses and does the opposite. The last thing that could happen is that the market doesn't do anything, that it may pop either one direction or another and then go flat. So these are situations that we as traders have to understand could happen, and how do we deal with them? So how I trade the news is that I first look at whether or not there's a news event scheduled. So news events are scheduled at 10 o'clock New York time, 8:30 New York time. Sometimes 12 or 12:30 we have the Fed speaking, and we also have 2 or 2:30, which is 1400, 1430. We have the Fed releasing the minutes, the FOMC minutes. Okay, so I know the news events are occurring at those times. Just look at the calendar. Be prepared. You may not even want to trade during that time, but if you are going to trade, know that that news event occurs and wait for a reaction. We have to wait for a reaction. Is there a reaction to the news? When I think about a news event and everybody piling on either as a buyer or as a seller because of that news event, that's due to a reaction where everybody just says buy at market or sell at market or get me in. So a reaction is a large candle, a very large candle, either a bullish candle or a bearish candle. So there's a reaction, we have a big candle. Now what? Well, think about what happens when all of these traders bought because the news was positive or the news was negative and they sold it. think about what's happening. There's a lot of traders that are invested, with almost all of them having their stop down here, right below where they entered. So instead of following the crowd like sheep, where you're just jumping in because the news is positive or negative, wait for the reaction and then wait for a complete reversal of this move. Because if everyone bought based on a reaction to news events and they're wrong, the market, there's no follow through, they're all going to get stopped out. And what happens is that there's a huge reversal in the opposite direction as soon as it reaches this point. So what I like to do, instead of just following the crowd because the news is bullish or not, or bearish, what I like to do is I like to wait for the reaction. I like to then do the opposite, and I do the opposite only after we have it break the low of this reactionary bar. You can wait till it closes, but I'm going short. Now, it doesn't have to be within an hour or half hour or immediately. It can happen anytime throughout the day. Sometimes it even happens overnight or the next day. But when you see a large reaction, don't think that this is going to always continue. It's a rush. Everybody's using market orders, and then they're stuck. These traders get stuck, and they have to get out, and they're all trading on margin, so they're forced to get out. And when that happens, it gives us an opportunity, unfortunately, because they're wrong, to take advantage of it on the opposite side. So if I can show you an example of a candle, a reactionary, and by the way, this is a daily chart, so we'll just go to a 1-minute chart, and we'll take a look here at a reactionary candle. I mean, you can even look at this here. This is maybe even the news event internationally, London Open, or London during the London Times, where you have a reaction to something, and then it failed. So all these traders that are long are now stuck, like this. So this here is a reaction to something. It could be a news event. And we don't know, the truth is that we don't know the future. This is what it looks like live. A lot of traders would look at that and say, I'm just going to jump in, because how can I be wrong? All these traders are short. I'm going to go short and sell with them. And then what happened? Market reversed. So I want to make sure that I'm not following this and entering here. I much rather enter once I see it reverse and go up, and it reverses to the upside. Because once it hits this area up here, there's a lot of traders now that are stuck. They have to get out, and by getting out, they have to get stopped out. Anyone have any questions on trading the news? Now, we do offer the trading the news. I think we have the ABC, we have the trading the news on the free member account. So there are a few videos on this. A good refresher in this webinar for those of you who don't know it or want to learn it. All right, sounds good. Thank you, guys. Now, for those of you who are asking about joining Accelerated Mentorship, yes, it comes with all our software, including the Sonic and the Autopilot. And we have the live trading room every day where you have access to ask questions, learn. Friday, we have training. You get access to all the software with a discount. Let me put back the Sonic that you're asking for. All right, Leo, on a second here. Okay. This is on a 1-minute chart for today. You want to take a look at today? Okay, this is today. Oh, you have the Sonic. Okay, good. Good. Yeah, $400 a day is pretty good. If you're making $400 a day on the Sonic, I think that's a good starting point. Just remember, eventually, then you may want to trade 2 contracts and then 3 contracts. So just take it slow at first, right? You don't have to go for $400 every day. Just go for 3 or 200, and then increase your number of contracts, right, Leo? So does it look the same as your chart? Same trades. The settings. Let's take a look at the settings here. Settings are 1.5 times the ATR. So just remember, that's really the one thing that you have to focus on, 1.5 times the ATR for your profit target. If that's what it looks like in your chart, then we have the same signals. All right, I'll see everyone in class. If anyone has any questions, or if you need to get access to your member account, send us an email, support@DayTradeToWin.com. Don't forget about the next couple of weeks, we'll have this spooky 15 coupon code available for 15% off. I'll see everybody in class. Want to learn more? Visit DayTradeToWin.com and get started with a free member account, which includes access to our trials, including the ABC software. Start learning the right way by using price action and avoid using conventional indicators.
We offer unique strategies and proprietary software, including the Sonic system. Join Accelerated Mentorship and get instant access to all our software. Let's get you set up in the next training.